Hi, I'm Ben Panter, founder and CEO of Blackford. I'd like to thank RSNA for the opportunity to talk to you today, and thank you all for joining us. Well, by now, I think we're all familiar with the benefits AI promises for your practice. First, increase radiology efficiency. That can be modality throughput and, critically in these times, helping to manage radiologist workload from a turnaround perspective and to avoid burnout. Second, in today's competitive market, referrers have a choice of where they send patients' imaging procedures. AI can add value for those referrers and differentiate your practice. And of course, we're all in healthcare to improve outcomes, and AI has tremendous potential to unlock all sorts of benefit for the patient. For all that promise, many facilities' AI implementation programs struggle to deliver. First, there's a huge number of products out there, and this brings a lot of complexity. How do you determine what applications create the most value for your practice? And of all the vendors who offer competing products, which will work best for your case mix, your radiologists, and your referrers? Next, how do you integrate with the existing workflow so that the benefits are not outweighed by disruption? Now, some vendors offer complete replacement of worklist and reporting, but the truth is nobody wants a forklift replacement of the system that drives efficiency in the department for a single application. And if you want to integrate into your existing workflow, managing those individual integrations takes time and effort, especially if each is a one-off customization. Integrations, of course, require far more than just technology. And any algorithm or product deployment in radiology is a project with many stakeholders and sub-processes to manage and deliver. First of all, you need to evaluate the products. You need to select the right product. You need to get IT approval for all the different pieces that need to communicate, including off of your hospital network. You need to develop the internal business case. You need to get the legal and BAA signed. You need to get purchase approval, hardware and infrastructure in place, and then start deployment. And then training the technologists and the radiologists to be able to use that product. The effort behind all these tasks is often overlapping, which means that delivered independently, a site can deploy one, perhaps two applications per year. At Blackford, we are helping many groups realize real benefits through our AI platform, which addresses the challenges of integration and deployment so you can focus your attention on the benefits that you want for your group. So let's dive a little deeper on the kinds of products we're talking about and how they interact with workflow. AI tools fall into a number of categories based on the type of benefit they bring to a practice. It's useful to break things down into these categories because the workflow required to support each one is different. And those workflow requirements need to be addressed to fully realize the benefits of each tool. We find four categories useful here: image enhancement, triage tools, value-add reports, and CAD tools. So image enhancement and augmentation. For example, a tool that enhances or denoises MR acquisitions, thereby potentially enabling more efficient use of a modality. Or a tool that automatically generates anatomically aligned derived series to save radiologist time. So let's think through the workflow for image enhancement. While some tools just work, others have some level of QA required before transmission to the radiologist. We need to ensure that there is flexibility to send results from AI products either straight to the PACS or via the modality workstation so that the technologist acquiring the study can verify that the quality is as required. There's a careful balance between too little information and too much. No radiologist wants to have 100 versions of the same study to read. We need the flexibility to forward different combinations of original images and derived images to the PACS to make things efficient for the reading radiologist. While some AI results are instant, others take a few minutes to process. One of the biggest losses for productivity is opening a study that isn't complete. So we need to ensure that the completion of any additional process is indicated in the work list, such that the radiologist knows when it's safe to begin their read. Of course, we also don't want to get in the way of an urgent read, so that step needs to be optionally bypassed by the radiologist if necessary. So the next category is triage tools. For example, a tool that detects suspected intracranial hemorrhage in non-contrast head CTs, or similar tools that detect acute conditions that require prioritization of the study. The ultimate aim of triage is to ensure that the most urgent findings are confirmed and communicated to referrers as quickly as possible. To achieve this aim, we're going to need a flexible configuration such that the right studies go to the right triage application consistently. The interaction between the modality, archive, and product needs to be fast and efficient, with multiple options to route the data to where it's needed, depending on the performance of the underlying network. To ensure that findings are confirmed quickly, we need to ensure that the solution is integrated into the work list so that studies with suspected acute findings can be highlighted in the appropriate subspecialty work list, highlighted as having a triage finding, and escalated to ensure that they are read quickly. This information is typically only valuable if it's communicated rapidly downstream to the referrer where treatment can commence. This communication can be via HL7 or as an integration into the facility's own urgent communications network. Value-add reports and quantification is the third category here. For example, a tool that quantifies MS lesion burden to better inform treatment choices for the referring neurologist. Typically, value-add reports are niche products based on specific clinical conditions rather than simple modality anatomy criteria. With this in mind, it's essential that once your practice has made the investment in a product, you get the maximum return from it, which means all relevant studies are processed. Often, this entails going beyond DICOM tags and understanding the reason for the order, which may require information from the EMR rather than just that available within the radiology IT systems. We also need to consider how to gather priors to provide longitudinal comparison for any quantification reports, giving the full context for returning patients. While this is easy in a simple PACS setup, any larger health system or reading group likely has to deal with priors dispersed across legacy systems and from outside imaging locations, often with non-trivial identity matching. Since we've gone to all this effort, we have to ensure that the results are actually communicated to the referrer. It needs to be effortless to transfer metrics generated by the AI into the report to avoid spending time retyping or dictating results. The last category we have here is CAD tools. For example, a tool that detects and sizes suspected lung nodules in a chest CT to save radiologist time and increase accuracy. Now, to many, the earliest form of AI in medical imaging was CAD. And even before the underlying technology improved to what is possible today, we have learned a lot about how to best deliver CAD results in workflow. As for previous categories, consistently sending the right study to the right application, fetching appropriate priors and injecting results into reports is critical for the use of CAD tools at scale. But for CAD, we need to go further. No CAD product performs every time on every study. And to be accepted by radiologists, it's essential that it's possible to accept or reject individual findings before they flow into your report or the PACS. It's important this step forms an ergonomic element of the workflow. If it breaks the efficiency of the read, all savings are lost. Now, we've looked at several different categories of application and the interactions that they require with workflow to be able to unlock their full value. The truth is, though, every one of these applications interacts in a slightly different way. And while you might manage to integrate one, perhaps two in a year, integrating product by product becomes a Herculean task. We said at the beginning of this session that not all applications suit all settings. And the worst case scenario is that after expending all of that effort, you find that you've invested in integrating a solution that doesn't actually work for you. But there's a solution. At Blackford, our goal is to help you realize benefit from AI. We handle all the interactions to all the elements of the workflow through our platform. From the modality, through the archive, the viewer, the reporting system, and the EMR, a single deployment of the Blackford platform deals with all the interactions for all the applications. Using the Blackford AI platform to address all these integration challenges allows you to focus on maximizing the value that AI brings. So how do we make sense of the options available to maximize that value? Well, we've developed a 5-step process to help work out what will create value for your case mix, your radiologists, and your referrers, and help you derive the maximum benefit as rapidly as possible. First, we analyze your current case mix and identify opportunities in your referrer base. We often find that when we look into what the referrer is doing, there are opportunities to add volume by specifically adding value in certain cases. Second, we suggest a suite of applications for consideration based on your case mix. Now, it's not enough just to show you the technology and the clinical value. We then work with you to develop customized business cases reflecting the applications and your site. Third, we introduce product experts for deeper understanding of selected clinical applications. Now, oftentimes Blackford can be providing this information at the level that's required, but when you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of how an application works, we connect you directly with the creators of those algorithms to have them answer your questions. We never get in the way of that conversation. Fourth, we really focus on understanding your existing infrastructure and workflow and work with you to determine the optimal integration paths. There are many different ways to do this integration, and we work with you to find what's best for your practice. And then fifth, we developed a rollout program to streamline the training, adoption, and effective use of these algorithms. Now, following this process, some of our customers are already looking at their fifth or even sixth deployed application hosted through our platform, all delivered through the model shown here. I hope you've enjoyed listening to our presentation today, and I would encourage you to visit our booth and to schedule a demo to learn more about how we can help you discover and decide which tools suit your practice, your case mix, and your referrers, and how integrating with the Blackford platform allows you to solve each of these workflow challenges once for all applications. And we look forward to meeting either virtually or hopefully in person soon. Thank you for watching.